Good afternoon. See, we've been doing a lot of work on the past two lectures on HR management. Typically, okay, industrial organization psychology. Machines don't have a psychology. Okay, but probably I saw a video yesterday about a uh, robot, which is having a lot of intelligence. So it was really amazing that the computer could respond or face a press meet, and that robot has facial features which can show expression. Almost, it looks like a lady, has the form of a lady, but it's still metallic. Okay, so maybe in the near future, we don't know what is going to happen in what scenario is going to happen, how much more humans are going to be replaced, we don't know. But still, psychology, when we speak about humans because we behave differently in different circumstances. Okay, but a machine is typically expected to behave in the what we'll call as the most proper manner. So we saw that we require aligned people. We saw that success of organization is because of people. We also saw that right people have to be given the right environment, and a biggest challenge for any of the people who are in the top or in the management is how are you going to rate your people. You may be a junior engineer, you'll have two people reporting to you. How are you going to make two people fit into the bell jar curve? Both of them have worked very well for you. How can you say that one person has not worked? Because when there are only two tails and two people and there's a two-tailed test, you can make a person very bad or very good. That's it, nothing in between. So a lot of stuff like that, will cause a lot of headache. We need to keep upgrading our skills. The skills of yesteryears is not going to be useful. We are competing in a very in a environment which is growing or changing or evolving at a very rapid rate. And again, we try to bring the best of all the people. You are starting your own company, you want all of them to work the best. And another thing we saw was the work-life balance. Work-life balance means you are able to comfortably perform in your organization, even if suppose considering your personal needs. So different companies have different ways by which this work-life balance is maintained. And in addition to this, we also saw some other thing called ergonomics, and we are going to write a test now on what ergonomics is. Ergonomics is nothing but how the environment influences the people who are working in it. So comfortably you're working in a probably air conditioned environment, not in a place where you're cold, not in a place where it makes you feel uncomfortable, where you want to cover yourself. It's a place where your efficiency is maximum. Okay, so this is what we saw about ergonomics. Today I'm going to speak about the protection of the workforce. Protection of the workforce in particular, we are going to look at protection of the women employees. Okay, this is because it's a national mandate that we are going to have the women workforce protected more. I unfortunately forgot to bring a speaker, but I hope that you'll be able to see this. There are also sub headings, so you should be able to understand what it is.
Happy रक्षाबंधन भैया. हाँ जी, रास्ते में ही हो, बस 15-20 मिनट में पहुँच जाओ. हाँ जी. ओके, बाय, सी या.
हैप्पी रक्षाबंधन दीदी. दीदी बस स्टॉप पे खड़ा हूँ, आपकी वेट कर रहा हूँ, आपकी और भैया की. ओके दीदी, बाय. पीला शर्ट. क्या चीज कट पीस. आजा भाई, यहीं आजा. अरे भाई मस्त चीज है, बुला ले इधर पास में. क्या चाहिए. क्या है? तेरे क्या है? क्या है? क्या है? क्या क्या राखी है? किसने बांधी? बहन ने, मेरी बहन ने बांधी है। तुम्हारी बहन क्या मस्त चीज होगी यार, एक बार मिलवा दो। तुम्हारी बहन के बारे में बोला, आग लगी? हाँ, क्या तुम छेड़ रहे हो मेरी बहन? मेरी बहन है वो। सॉरी यार, सॉरी, मेरे को नहीं उसको जाके बोला। आई एम सॉरी, प्लीज हमें माफ कर देना।
इट्स ओके, लेकिन इसके आगे कभी किसी और की बहन के साथ ऐसा मत करना।
नहीं, कभी नहीं।
थैंक यू।
You're very welcome, sister. मेरी भी बहन है।
नहीं, अपनी बहन की रिस्पेक्ट और रक्षा तो सब करते हैं, जो दूसरों की बहनों की रक्षा और रिस्पेक्ट करे वो भाई से भी बढ़कर है। ये लाइट मैं अपने भाई के लेती हूँ, बट यू एक्चुअली डिजर्व इट।
इसकी जरूरत नहीं थी सिस्टर, थैंक यू। अब मेरे पास अभी कुछ देने के लिए नहीं है आपको।
अरे, जो आपने आज किया उसके आगे तो सब छोटा है।
थैंक यू।
So this is one of the videos which impressed me a lot, and it kind of brings into focus what I want to share with you. Today we may not be requiring quite a lot of the rules which we are talking about, except for the fact that people are not able to recognize that everybody is a human being with a soul inside. Okay, so I guess the hashtags are also very good for this, and we are particularly going to go for the one of the acts which you would probably be having to look into if you are having your own organization. You may be a lady entrepreneur or a gentleman who's going to start an entrepreneurship, but then this act is going to encompass every individual who's going to hire a person. I am hiring a maid servant, she is also coming under the protection of this act. Okay, so this is the importance of the specific act we are talking about, and the aim is that we are going to provide a right to work with dignity. Okay, so these are some of the definitions of harassment. Okay, now we are not saying that you are doing all of this, or all of us are doing this, but still the aim is that anybody who can who feels hurt, or are experiencing something which doesn't bring out the best in their in them, is going to cause, or what is going to be called, a harassment. Okay, and one of the biggest things is also teachers. In fact, it's put in red, I marked it in red, because of late we also hear quite a lot of teachers misbehaving in the society. Okay, I'm putting it in the big thing. Thank you. Right. So coming back to our class. So what is happening here? I mean, like what we are trying to focus here is, what are the things that you as an employer are going to do. You may not be the one who's doing all of this. You may not want a person whom you have hired to experience any of this. You may not want any of your people with whom you interact be a cause or perpetrator of any of the things mentioned. So now these are some of the salient features of this act. So it is going to extend over the entire area where we call India. Okay, and any woman who's employed directly or indirectly is going to get protected by it, and the way the proceeding or the inquiry is being done is going to be on lines with a court. Okay, you would have heard of some of the inquiry committees that happen in VIT. Some of your friends might have gone through the process. Okay, so the thing is that there it's just I don't know how much binding it's going to be, the whole fact finding thing. But whatever is the fact finding that you are going to organize is going to be on lines of what a judge is going to give. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the provisions of it. Okay, it's the responsibility of each and every one of you to go through it. It's a very, very small booklet. Okay, the entire rule. So they got a lot of definitions. I'm probably going to go through some of them, a few of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them. But this is the duty as a company which you are going to do. These are the duties. First and foremost, you have to provide a conducive environment where people can all work together. Nowadays we are talking about having barrierless, or talking about equality in opportunity, equality in hiring, and so on and so forth. So this is something which is supposed to be done by the employer. Be a equal opportunity employer. Okay, so you can go to many of the companies. You will see in very broad outline, we are an equal opportunity employer. So we are not going to discriminate because you are based on the gender, based on the country where you belong, or the race, so on and so forth. Everybody is treated as a human being. So this is probably one of the first thing which people need to think about. But I myself don't know how many places we can actually do it. Second thing is, the penal consequences have to be highlighted. I still remember L&T, Saipem, wherever this came into fore in 2013. That time I was in L&T. So the moment this happened, they immediately started to constitute a committee. Okay, the committee was constituted. They were all taken to Bombay for orientation and training. Okay, so that was the thing which happened. Probably if you are running your own company, you may also be doing something like that. Okay, again, these two are the probably important terms. One is what we call as the internal complaints committee, or ICC as we are typically going to call it. And there are rules as to who constitutes the ICC. Okay, please go through who constitutes the ICC. That is part of the learning which you're going to take. Again, at a district level, the district administration has to keep a local complaints committee. Please stand up here. Yes, the one in the pink shirt. Thank you. So the local complaints committee looks into all the complaints which are there in its control. Any ICC has undertaken a inquiry, the findings are going to be shared there. Again, the work of the ICC is to provide a conducive environment for discussion. Again, the thing about this entire system is, it is not the aim of this law to only punish. Sometimes it's also aimed at what we call as sensitizing the person. So there are conciliatory efforts also done, so that they don't have to take the entire thing beyond the company. ICC is done at companies level, LCC is done at much higher level. Okay, but remember that it's not mandatory that only the ICC has to be approached. You can also go to a court of police. You can go directly to the police also. Now the most important thing, as I told earlier, is these committees are empowered committees. These committees are empowered committees, and also the members who constitute the committees have to be above reproach. They should be respectable. People should respect them, and any breach of conduct on the part of any of the members is also viewed very seriously. is also viewed seriously. They may be removed from that position, so on and so forth. So all of them, like all of these things, like who can be, what should be the composition, and what can be told as breach of privilege and make people go away, is also going to be is also being told in this act. Okay, and the last thing is, right to information doesn't apply for this act. Right to information doesn't apply for this act. So what does it mean? It means that the secrets are safe. For whatever is being inquired, you can go and confidently speak. So that is the main thing which we are going to ensure in all these proceedings. In all these proceedings, privacy of the individuals are maintained. Okay, so I'll just summarize very quickly. You are going to have an internal complaints committee as part of your organization. Please stand up here. The one in the red shirt, yes. Thank you. Okay, and then you will also realize that there are local complaints committees which are set up at different levels. Okay, so you are going to also ensure that as an employer, give the recourse mechanism which you have. Okay, for example, in VIT's website also, if you see, there is a portion of that. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but like any other organization, we also are having our own LCC, okay, local complaints committee. Okay, so this was one of the things which I found in one of the articles. So just like how we saw in that video at the beginning, it's in everybody's hands. In everybody's hands. Okay, I mean, like as a parent, I have to teach my child to respect each other, be it a woman or a man or whoever is there, or maybe animals. I need to ensure that it is being taught. Please sit down. And again, we also like we need to see what best we can do to prevent such occurrences. The third reference which I have is a copy of that gazette or the act which was published. The other stuff you can use for your internal reference. You'll find that many of the companies issue handbooks to sensitize everybody. It's not only women, but it's also men, on how to go about various things. Again, it's not only crimes against women or discrimination against women that is a thing of interest or importance to us as construction workers. See, we are also having people who are differently abled, okay, whom we kind of keep out of society. Okay, so are we going to be able to be an inclusive organization where everybody is going to feel welcome? That is something which is very different and difficult to think about, but I'm sure that it is possible. Especially today the way the automation is happening, I won't be surprised that people with really different abilities, like what we call cannot do work in our industry, maybe doing work maybe even better than us. And again, another very important thing is children are the most prone to abuse. Okay, now when does this abuse typically happen? It's because you are exercising your power. Okay, it's when you are exercising your authority, and then you are going to try to make them do things which is not normally expected of them. Now you would have heard of that blue whale challenge and other things like that. Okay, as a parent, or for your parents especially, each of them are very worried about you, and very shortly you guys will also be probably thinking about family and other stuff. And I mean, like you have to also. So here there were some questions which people have asked. It made me think, because nowadays even when my child comes back from school, I don't get to talk much. So probably you will be able to identify behavior change and probably abuse, stuff like that, when we are able to communicate with our children. Okay, so guys, basically in conclusion, if suppose you are a victim of abuse, like what CS told, and all of you were having a good laugh. I don't know whether it was positive thing or whether I have to be very worried about what the laugh was about. But in any case, please remember that we need to speak up. Nowadays, we are having so many forums where we can speak up. Okay, so I wish all of you a very uh, healthy career, a career where like you feel that each of you have made a difference in the life of somebody at least. That's very important. Okay, so please keep this in mind. All the other labor laws is more or less optional. Some things you can escape with the loophole, but this law, bear it in mind that it's very very important. Okay, and again another very important thing, like there are groups rising up to speak up against violence against men also nowadays. Okay, so I should not leave that out of the picture. I don't want you to be unaware of it. So thank you very much. In case you got any question, please feel free to ask now. Right, so then I'll stop this lecture with thank you.